Welcome to the church at Hiraeth, Wednesday Words of Wisdom. You would have to be, I think, quite literally from another planet to not know what's going on in the world at the moment in the wider Middle East area. I've been following it very closely indeed, as I have been doing so for many years. And I was listening to a leader from Iran talking this week, and he called, and I'm going to get that quote exactly, he called out the USA and he said that they are a warmongering and lawless administration. A warmongering and lawless administration. I must admit I did smile at that one, because I can remember when it was Persia and there was a violent, aggressive revolution. And of course, ever since then, that was in 1979, ever since then, when the Shah was deposed, that describes Iran to a T. I listened to an interview with a UK government minister the other day, and he was talking about Iran. And he said for a long time, not just this last couple of weeks or so, in response to what's going on at the moment, but for a long time, they have been launching cyber attacks on the UK. And of course, whether it's directly or through their proxy organizations such as the Houthis, Hamas or Hezbollah, Iran funds international terrorism. It delights in death and destruction. So when I heard that quote, I wrote it down: warmongering and lawless administration. I thought to myself, how could you even begin to think that that applies to someone else and not to yourself? But I thought of the scripture in Matthew chapter 7, where Jesus was speaking, verses 1-5. Do not judge, or you too will be judged. For in the same way as you judge others, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, when all the time there is a plank in your own eye? You hypocrite, first take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will be able to see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. Fantastic words, aren't they? And Jesus there was speaking to us personally. Forget the mad mullahs of Iran. Forget the people at work that you encounter on a daily basis. Forget the neighbours, the family conflicts, the fallouts on social media. All of those things happen, of course. But ultimately, and this is what Jesus was saying, what about you? What about me? That's ultimately the most important thing that we should be worried about, isn't it? And focused on and trying to do something about. It's okay talking about a nation, a group of people, an individual. We could do that all day long. But how does that help us other than get caught up in negativity and judgment? What really helps us is when we look for the plank in our own eye. I'm sure that there are many people, as I've said, whether it's work or whether it's the neighbours or people in the street, family, friends, folks on social media that they have disagreements with, or maybe even comments on world politics, that we could spend all day long pointing out how wrong and how hypocritical. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Don't be a hypocrite. How hypocritical others are. But what about us? That's the great thing about the teachings of the Bible. They are very practical. They are things that you can apply into your own heart and your own life, that if they are applied and worked through, will make us better people. Yes, we know there's hypocrisy out there, whether it's from rogue states or individual people. Yes, of course, there's hypocrisy. But the question is, what about you and what about me? What about the hypocrisy in our lives? That is what we should all be striving to deal with, to eliminate, and therefore to move on in our lives. Don't forget to check out the Church at Hiraeth website. Every Wednesday there's an update called Words of Wisdom, and on Sunday we have our online service that always incorporates other features as well.